Hey, William Gilmore here for the ScreenwritersJourney.com. It is day 239 of season 2, and tonight I attended the Rewrites Workshop, which is a writer workshop where screenwriters, can bring in 10 pages of their work and hear it read out loud by other writers. And then there's a comment section afterwards where you get 1 minute to talk about the positives, and then 1 minute of constructive criticism, and then a minute or so devoted to any questions that the writer might have. And I've been going to that group for a while now, and we have built up quite an attendance, and it's getting a little tough to get things read unless you get there really early. As I talked about in my post about Brian, we have 6 slots available each Thursday night, and any carryovers that don't make it in one of those 6 slots on a given Thursday, Thursday night, carry over to the following week. We had 2 carryovers this week, and we had 6 writers show up. So 2 people did not get to read, and there were a couple of others who wanted to read, but they didn't bother to sign up. They just figured they'll take their chances. So next week is already booked. There are basically no slots available for next week. So people just show up next week and hopefully get on the list for the following week. So it's growing, which is a good thing. It's a lot, good to have a lot of creative people around you throwing things out, but it's getting tough to hear your own stuff, which was sort of one of Brian's issues with the group. But it's the same thing like with the Tuesday night group, Tuesdays at 9. You have to put yourself in the queue, and they will slot you in somewhere down the road. So that's just the price you have to pay. And people do tend to drop out when they don't get read enough, or they're not getting the kind of notes they like. So I figured the group will probably thin out a little bit here coming up. Although I kind of expected it to start thinning out by now, because everybody with their New Year's resolutions jumps on board with, I'm going to write something this year, and they do stick around for 2-3 months maybe, and then they start to fall off. And we haven't had that fall off yet. So we may just have a large group now. So anyway, I did get to read this week because I got there extra early again to make sure I got a slot. And even getting there really, really early, like an hour early, I was still number 2 on the new list. So, but I did get to read what I have written through Act 2 on Below the Fold, which is the piece that I've been working on the Saturday group. I know I have so many groups. But I'm taking that in Saturday. What happened last week, we read our teaser in the Saturday group. And we had a couple of no-shows, and we got through just about everybody in the group on the first Saturday. So the second Saturday that was allotted for reading the teasers, we may not have anybody to read this week. So one of the co-hosts, Ben, suggested that I bring my first act in this week to read. And in order to do that, I want to make sure it's in the best shape possible. So we read part of the first act last week. This week we got through the rest of the first act and the second act in rewrites. So taking the few notes that I got from the script at the Saturday group, which is inside the room, they really didn't have many notes on my teaser. Most of the notes were all about what's going to happen next, how are you going to address this issue, that issue, things like that. And so if I'm bringing in the first act, I wanted to try and answer all those questions. So tonight was a chance to finish up the first act and sort of get an idea and get feedback from this group. And I'll probably make some changes before going in on Saturday. The dilemma is we got an email from inside the room yesterday, I think it was, that said, since we may have time available this Saturday, we're asking everybody to bring their teasers back in and present them with whatever notes and changes that have been addressed. And I didn't have any notes on the teaser, so to speak. So I'm hoping I'm still going to get to read the first act. It's a lot of pages. It's 10, 12 pages, I think. And they only like to give us 3 to 4 pages because it's supposed to be a teaser. So I don't know if I'll get the whole thing in, but we'll give it a shot and see what happens. But tonight's reading went really, really well. Great comments, great interest in the piece. Things went about as best as they possibly could. So I'm not sure what to do with it. If it's perfect, should I leave it alone? Or should I try to make some changes? I do feel it's moving a little quickly right now, and I'm not getting to know the characters. I'm introducing the characters, but it's just kind of like touching on them, and I'd like to set up a little bit more with the characters. So I think I'm going to try and slow it down a little bit and do some work on that. So that's what I'll be doing between now and Saturday afternoon. So we'll see how that works. Anyway, that's all I have. It was a good night. It was a good read. Some good stuff going on there in the group, as usual. And I was very happy with what I did. So Saturday's the big day, I guess. We'll find out if I get as good a review this Saturday as I did last Saturday with the teaser. So cross your fingers. Anyway, that's all I have. I'm William Gilmore for the ScreenwritersJourney.com. We'll catch you back here next time. And please, keep writing. I missed the pen tonight.